And we're back. This is Wild 1. I've slid this over a little this way because I've decided I'm going to advance in this direction. There's a few things I need to clear up. The very first thing I need to clear up is that I forgot to draw Thorgrim's treasure card when he killed that gargoyle. So I'm going to roll my d4 following my little house rule here. That on a 4 I actually draw an item, and otherwise I draw a fortune or blessing. It was a 2. So, hey, it's a short rest. This is great for Thorgrim. Flip up one of your used powers. So, it turns out that he had used this healing word on his turn. One hero gains hit points equal to his or her healing surge value. And he did that for, I believe, for Arjan. The question is, when did he do it? Did he do it before he killed the gargoyle or after? I don't recall. You know what? Things have been really hard. I'm going to kind of pretend that I actually used his healing word before he killed the gargoyle. I don't really recall. I'd have to review the video again, but we're going to flip this thing back up. I think I owe that to myself. So, we're going to make that one available again. So, thank you, short rest. Another thing I want to talk about is the opportunity that I had when I was moving the wolf up to Arjan to attack him. I didn't think about this at all, but Arjan is slowed. And if I had decided to place the wolf here instead, he could have attacked the wolf, and if he missed, he could still move here so that we could get a tile explored here. But because I put the wolf here, if he misses, he doesn't have enough speed to get around the wolf. Because like I said at the beginning, you cannot move through monsters, you have to move around them. So I sort of screwed myself there. I'd like to get him off the tile with the dart trap, and at this point I don't want anybody on the tile with the dart trap. I don't care about that trap anymore. I just want to avoid it and keep everybody off that tile. Let's not worry about it. It activates only on Arjan's turn. So I'm going to leave the wolf where he was. That was my bad. I'm not going to move it. It's considered fair play for me flipping over that used power that I may have used after I would have drawn the treasure. So. And the third thing I want to mention is, it's kind of back to Thorgrim here. He has the Boots of Striding, and I forgot all about having this. It gives him +1 to his speed. He was slowed on his last turn, and it says your speed is 2. For whatever reason, I thought that that overrode the Boots of Striding, which say that you gain a +1 bonus to your speed while it's in play. It turns out I checked the errata for the rules for Castle Ravenloft, and no, the Boots of Striding do actually apply. So if your speed is 2, you get the +1 bonus, your speed is 3. So it was inconsequential. It didn't really help Thorgrim at all to have a speed of 3. It just means that he could have possibly come up to here. As far as I'm concerned, it didn't really make a difference. So we're not going to worry about that either, but it's something to keep in mind. I need to remember the Boots of Striding, and I need to remember that errata in case he's slowed again. So, we are on Arjan's turn. Arjan is slowed, like I was saying. He's going to try and hit this wolf. The wolf has, if you recall, it has an AC of 14. Only 1 hit point. We're just going to use his Tide of Iron again. That's a +8. So 14 minus 8 is 6. I only have to roll a 6. You'd think I could do that. Come on. I rolled a 7. Are you kidding me? That is... Man. I keep getting really, really close here. So the wolf is dead. We get to remove the wolf from his controlled monsters and traps and place it over here in our experience pile. We now have a total of 8 experience over here. He still has a dart trap under his control. We need to now move. But we killed the wolf, we need a treasure. Something else I may not have mentioned is that you only get 1 treasure per turn. So if you happen to kill 2 or more monsters, you still only get to draw 1 treasure card. So, alright, on a 4 I get an actual item. I rolled a 3. One of these days I'm going to roll a 4. Sooner or later I'm going to roll a 4. So let's see what our fortune and or blessing is. It is a fortune. Intimidating Bellow. Play it immediately. Place a monster on a tile 2 tiles away from this tile. Because at this point I think what we need to do is run away from the Wraith. I know we're heroes and we're supposed to be brave and bold and we're here to wipe out this dungeon and find the icon of Ravenloft and destroy the evil within, but the Wraith is a pain, a super pain to deal with, and it's better to just avoid it if we can, assuming we don't draw another Wraith. So I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to take the Wraith, and I get to move it 2 tiles away from its tile. I'm going to put it right, we'll put it here. Now, my plan here is we're going to bring Thorgrim up here. We're going to restore her of a hit point, and she'll be back and active again. And then she can use her careful shot to kill the blazing skeleton. And then get the heck out of dodge from there. She should probably move this direction. We should also get him moving this direction. He's going to come over here and explore across. So we're going to move this down a bit. So he's going to come down over here and explore. This keeps Arjan 2 tiles away as well. And if we can get it right, we can possibly lure the Wraith to come down this direction instead of going up here. It depends on how we want to do this. We'll see. We've moved the Wraith. That was the intimidating Bellow. Now we get to move Arjan. He's slowed, but we're okay. 1, 2, we get him to the edge of that tile. We end his hero phase, which means we get to get rid of this. We enter exploration. We get to draw a tile. And it has a black arrow, triangle, whatever you want to call it. But first we need to place a monster. Who do we get this time? Hey, it's a kobold skirmisher. Speaking of weaklings, this guy's worse than the wolf. He's only 13, 1 hit point. He does have a really strong attack, but he's really easy to kill. So he falls under Arjan's control. And this is what our kobold skirmisher looks like. He goes right here. Now we move to the villain phase. We drew a black arrow. We have to draw an encounter. It's an event. Neglected Passage. Did you look down that hall? So it says that if the start tile is not in play, discard this card. Well, start tile is in play. Draw a tile from the bottom of the dungeon tile stack and place it adjacent to the unexplored edge that is closest to the start tile. Place a new monster on that tile, but do not draw an encounter card. Well, this is kind of interesting. The start tile is really this whole section here, but technically that's it. The unexplored edge that is closest to the start tile. Well, it's definitely this one. So we're going to slide that down. We're going to take a dungeon tile off the bottom of the dungeon tile stack, like so. Alright. Now, we then draw a monster, but we do not draw an encounter card, so we don't have to do it again. This is an event that's not horrible. The monster's really far away, so the monster's way over here. But which monster do we get? Ooh, we get a rat swarm. Ugh. Easier even than the kobold skirmisher. Only armor class of 12. Not a particularly good attack either. And it only moves 1 tile at a time, so we can keep our distance from it. And even if we have to deal with it, we have to deal with it. It's not going to be particularly challenging. Same thing with the kobold skirmisher. So that becomes under Arjan's control. Here is our swarm of rats. Ugh. Look at those. If you're squeamish about rats, look at that. Way up close. Look at the detail there. They are all over the place. Alright, they go right here. We took care of that. Now we need to activate monsters. So we start with the dart trap. There is nobody on the dart trap tiles, so that doesn't qualify. Then we activate the skirmisher. So it says that if the skirmisher is within a tile of a hero, it attacks with a javelin, and the javelin is right here. So, and this is a missile attack, so the skirmisher's not moving. His attack is a +9. Arjan's armor class is 17, so only an 8. 8 or higher is required. And we rolled a 10. So Arjan takes a point of damage. Alright. Then the rat swarm, finally. It's going to move toward the closest hero. So it's going to move here. We move to Thorgrim. I think it's enough to have him move here. Just bring him up close. And then he's going to forego attacking or anything of that nature, and what I'm going to have him do instead, use Healing Word, since I got it back. Use Healing Word, and then also use the Aid ability. We're going to use Healing Word, so I'm using it again. Her surge value is 4, so she's going to regain 4 hit points. So I'm going to take this away, and we're going to put one of these on there. So that brings her back to half health. And then we're going to end his turn there. End his hero phase there, I should say. By ending his hero phase there, he did not attack. One other hero on the tile can regain a hit point. So we're going to allow Alyssa to regain a hit point. By the way, that stands her back up. This way we don't have to blow a healing surge right now. We can still save it for later. If necessary, we would use it on Thorgrim. Right now Thorgrim is the one who is at the least health. He's down to 3. Arjan has 6 and Alyssa has 5. Alright, well, we're off to the exploration phase. He didn't explore, so we move on to villain phase. Because he didn't explore, we have to draw an encounter. Oh boy. This might be one we might want to spend our experience on. It's an event. It's an attack event called Circle of Death. A wave of shadowy, pulse-stopping energy blossoms from the center of the room. Attack each hero on the active hero's tile. Now that means attacking the 2 weaker characters right now. Each undead monster on the active hero's tile regains a hit point. Well, we don't want that either because of the blazing skeleton. He's undead. That'll bring him back to 2 and it kills our plans. So you know what? I think this is a perfect opportunity. We have 8 experience right now, and I say we spend 5 of it. Spending the 5 experience allows us to cancel this encounter, and it doesn't happen. That also ends Thorgrim's turn, and we move on to Alyssa. So I already planned out what I was going to do with Alyssa. She's going to use her careful shot to kill this blazing skeleton, so it is dead. We get 2 experience. We're back to 5 experience again over here. And she gets to draw a treasure. Alright. So far so good. Oh, I got a 4. I promise I didn't cheat. I got a 4, which means I get to draw an item card for the first time. Alright, so we're going to draw an item. It's a Ring of Accuracy. Well, that's good for a ranger to have. Play this immediately. You gain a +1 bonus to attack rolls against monsters that aren't adjacent to your hero while this item is in play. So she's going to put it on immediately. So I need to remember that I have that. And I might switch off of Careful Attack because Careful Attack requires me to be adjacent, which means the Ring of Accuracy doesn't work. Alright, awesome. She now has a ring, a magic ring. And we have 5 experience again, so we can cancel another encounter. Well, I think it's time to get her going this direction. So that was just her first action, which was attack. So you can attack and move, you can move attack, or you can move. So you can do a double move. So she's attacked, she's now going to move. So her speed is 6, and she's abandoning Thorgrim, so she's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and put her right here at the edge of that tile of the dart trap without actually entering that tile. Now we move on to exploration. She didn't explore, so now we move on to villain phase. Because she did not explore, we have to draw an encounter card. Oh, it's a howling ghost. It's an attack event. A shrieking banshee emerges from the shadows. Its howl causes you to recoil in agony. Attack each hero on the active heroes tile, which is Alyssa. Each hero hit can flip an unused daily power over to prevent damage. Well, she only has the one daily power. Oh wow, she can easily get hit with this one. So it's a +9, causes 2 damage if it hits her. You know, she's back to 5 health. If this hits, she's down to 3 health, but she's not horrible shape. So we're going to try this. Her armor class is 15. Unfortunately, she's not on the same tile as Arjan, so she doesn't get his defender bonus. Now, she has her lucky charm. I don't know if this is a good time to try and blow this lucky charm or not, but we might consider doing that. Her armor class of 15 minus the bonus of 9 means 6. Oh, well, roll to 15. I think she should take her lumps. We should save the lucky charm for later. So we're going to give her 2 damage, which brings her back to 5. So we'll just take these 3 off and put 5 on here. Now we have to activate the Wraith. So, if you recognized my strategy from before, keeping everybody at least 2 tiles away from the Wraith, it is not within a tile of a hero, therefore it moves 1 tile toward the closest hero. So it's a question of who's closest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need to move it here. And it moves from mark to mark, from spawn point to spawn point. So it moves to here. Alright, so that's the end of round 4. We move on to round 5. And Arjan. What is Arjan going to do? I'm going to move him right here. And he's going to attack the kobold. So we'll use his Tide of Iron again. Its armor class is only 13. And the Tide of Iron is a +8, so 13 minus 8 is 5. I only need to roll a 5. Oh, wow. I rolled a 2. I may as well just roll the natural 1. So, it's a big fat miss. Exploration. He is next to an unexplored edge. We draw a tile. It's another one of these. Alyssa now has an opportunity to meet him over here and continue on to the right here. We need to draw a monster. We got another rat swarm. Okay. So he is now controlling 2 rat swarms. Actually, you know what? There is a rule about this. Because I drew a rat swarm and I already have one, I need to discard it and draw another one. So if somebody else drew a rat swarm, that would be okay. But oh, look at this. I drew a kobold skirmisher. So again, I have to discard and continue drawing. Oh my lord. I drew a rat swarm. I'm going through all the easy ones. This is really bad because I want the easy ones here. Alright. We finally got something that he doesn't already have, a zombie. It's undead. Very easy to hit. AC of 11. And its attack kind of sucks. Now, the damage is interesting. It causes 1 damage for each monster on the zombie's tile. So let's say there's 3 monsters on the tile. That means it causes 3 damage. But this falls under Arjan's control. And here is our zombie. He goes right here. On to the villain phase. We drew black triangles. We have to draw an encounter. Frenzy. Ooh. Alright. The monsters around you roar in fury. Each monster you control activates twice during your villain phase. Well, he controls a heck of a lot of monsters. The Kobold Skirmisher will activate twice, the Rat Swarm that's over here will activate twice, and that Zombie will activate twice. So we'll just go through them in order. So our Kobold Skirmisher, he attacks with a Javelin. It's a +9. 17 minus 9 is 8. He has to roll an 8. 17. 5 damage for Arjan. Now he attacks again. Again. 17 minus 9 is 8. And I rolled a 13. Lucky 13. Add another damage. Now we activate the Rat Swarm. If it's within a tile of a hero, it is not within a tile of a hero, so it's going to move one tile toward the closest hero. Well, it has to move this way. And it activates twice. Well, it is still not within a tile of a hero. This is 2 tiles away, this is 2 tiles away. So it moves another tile. So it's going to move to this tile, but of course the Wraith is sitting there, so we can pick anywhere around this we want to put it. I'm just going to put it right here. So that wasn't horrible, but now the Rat Swarm is getting to be annoying. Zombie! The zombie's not too bad, right? If he's within a tile of a hero, he moves adjacent to the closest hero and attacks with a Rotting Fist, which is what this attack is down here. Because of this thing, this ability right here, each monster on the zombie's tile, I'm going to put him here. That way he can only cause 1 damage instead of 2. It keeps him off of this tile so we don't get the 2 damage. He's a +5. Arjan has 17 armor class, 12 or higher. It's a 10, it's a miss. Thank goodness. Arjan's getting the crap beat out of him over here. That was not a fun encounter. Alright, so that's actually the end of the villain phase for Arjan. Now we move on to Thorgrim. Thorgrim's in a pickle. I just want him to be 2 tiles away from that Wraith. So I feel like it's probably best to just bring him over here. Another option is to bring him over here with the with Arjan, so he's on the same tile as Arjan, so he gets some protection. So let's see if I can get him to Arjan's tile. If he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, he can make it. I'm going to do that. So we're going to move him here. He's going to sit right there next to Arjan. Now, because he didn't attack, he gets his aid ability. So he can heal Arjan of a hit point. He didn't explore, so we have to draw an encounter. It's an event called Voice of the Master. And it says that Strahd's voice echoes the catacombs. Slay them, my minions! That's my Strahd impression. The monsters around you surge forward to attack. Starting with the hero on your left, each hero immediately activates 1 monster he or she controls. The first hero that cannot activate a monster instead places a new monster on any tile. Oh, well, at least you get to choose. So, in Alyssa's case, unfortunately, she can only choose the Wraith, and I don't want to activate the Wraith. I feel like this is an opportunity to get rid of this. So I feel like spending the 5 experience to cancel this one as well. We've got... These 2 are only 1 experience apiece, so it's going to be a while before we can accumulate another 5 experience, but I don't really like this one either, because Alyssa's going to have to activate 1, Arjan's going to have to activate 1, and for Arjan it'll probably be the zombie, and then Thorgrim doesn't have a monster, so he would have to place 1, and then he would finally be, for the first time in this game, in control of a monster. And I don't want to hedge my bets on that Wraith. I'm really concerned that that Wraith's going to hit Alyssa. So Alyssa has unbalancing parry, which we could use in case the Wraith does hit. Now the problem is that if it misses, the Wraith still causes 1 damage. But if we force it to miss, then we can place it on a tile within a tile of us, so we can move it right back over here. So this might not be so bad, and it might not be worth it to blow the 5 experience. So I think maybe we should go ahead and go for it here. Alright, so we're going to activate the Wraith. The Wraith is within a tile of a hero, her, so it's going to move adjacent to Alyssa. We're just going to put it right there. And attack with a life-draining claw. So it's a +6. Alyssa's armor class is 15, so 9 or higher. Hey, it's a 7. I don't have to use my utility power. Unfortunately, the Wraith is now in an interesting spot. We're going to have to move her. Actually, we'll be able to move her over to the zombie and actually attack the zombie with a careful shot and kill it. And she would be 2 tiles away from the Wraith. So maybe everything's going to work out. So this might not be so bad. Alright, so before we forget, Alyssa takes a damage. She's down to 2 health, that's not good. Now Arjan, I'm going to have Arjan activate the zombie because it's the least threatening of the bunch. So again, it's a +5 against Thorgrim's 17. So 12 or higher. Oh, and it's a natural 1. Sorry Charlie, you missed. Alright, now we get to Thorgrim. So Thorgrim doesn't have a monster, so he's going to have to place one. So let's see what monster we end up placing. It's a gargoyle, so we need to go grab a gargoyle from the box. So we're familiar with this dude. He's back. Alright, but what's great about this is I can place it on any tile I want. So how about we place it on the furthest tile away from everybody? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles away there. 1, 2, 3. Well, here, 1, 2, 3. It does nothing as long as you stay away from it. So I think if we just put it over here, it will never activate. As long as we never come within 1 tile of it, it's fine. Actually, we can just put it over here. It'll be alright. Well, we won't go back up there. Alright, so the gargoyle falls under Thorgrim's control, but will never activate. Or at least it better not activate. The next part of the villain phase for Thorgrim is activating any monsters he controls, which is the gargoyle, and the gargoyle stays still. So that's the end of Thorgrim's turn. Now we're going to go to Alyssa, and I'm going to stop here after Alyssa, because it's the end of round 5, and we'll pause the playthrough here and continue on in the next video after Alyssa's turn is over. So I think we already know what we want to do with Alyssa. We want her to, again, get the heck away from that Wraith. She has 6 speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll bring her, we'll go ahead and do all the way over to here. And she's going to use her careful shot to strike the zombie dead. The zombie only has 1 hit point. We now have 6 experience. The zombie is dead. She gets to draw a treasure. Let's see if it's a... Oh, it's a 3, so she gets a blessing or a fortune. So let's find out what blessing and or fortune we get. That's a lucky find. Alright. Draw 3 treasure cards and keep 1. Discard the others. So what I'm going to do is we're going to roll the die 3 times and find out what we're going to draw. So, okay, kind of sat on the edge there, but it's a 2. Well, we rolled a 4. That means we get to draw 1 of each. And the final one is a 3. So we're going to draw 2 blessings slash fortunes, and 1 item card. And we get to choose one and discard the rest. Wow. Alright, so the item is the Thieves' Tools. So it would have been great for the Rogue, because the Rogue would, unless, you know, she rolled a 1, because the Rogue already gets a +5, this would be a +4, which means all she has to do is roll a 2 or higher to disable traps. This is really nice. The Thieves' Tools are really nice, but let's look at the other ones. This one is the Breath of Life, which we've seen before. There's a few of these. Regain any hit point. She is down to 2 health, so it might be a good idea for her to take that one. And then we have Surround Them. This one's an interesting blessing. If I can get it to focus. Until the end of your next hero phase, each hero gains a bonus to attack rolls equal to the number of heroes on his or her tile. So this blessing would remain on Alyssa until the end of her next hero phase. And we're probably going to have these 2 move up to here. So that is really interesting, because Arjan's turn will be next. He'll get a +2 bonus to his attack roll on this guy, and then he can move over here and explore this. We could have Thorgrim could come up here. We could have Arjan and Thorgrim move up here together. This Surround Them feels like it's just a really, really good blessing to have. I know the Thieves' Tools are essentially permanent. We're going to take this blessing, so I'm going to put the blessing, we'll just put it here, just to remind me that she has that ability. And it's not just her, it's everybody. Alright, that's pretty amazing. So then we discard the other treasures. So Thieves' Tools go away, and the Breath of Life goes away. We'll see if this was a good or a bad decision very shortly. That ends her hero phase. We go to exploration. She didn't explore. Villain phase. An event. Mists of Terror. You hear a whispering chant, and a white mist flows through the crypts. As you breathe in the foul air, horrifying thoughts root you in place. Roll a die for each hero. On a 1 to 5, the hero takes a damage and is immobilized. That's not horrific. She is down to 2, so she would survive if she got hit. It's a 1 to 5, so we're going to start with Alyssa. Oh my god, I rolled a 1. Really? So she takes a damage. She's immobilized. We haven't seen this one. So, immobilized simply means you can't move, and you discard this at the end of your hero phase. So she's going to be stuck where she's standing right now. Now we're going to roll for Arjan. Oh, my horrible luck. My horrible, horrible luck. I cannot believe this. He takes 1 damage, and he is also immobilized. Finally, Thorgrim. This kind of ruins my plans. And I rolled a 5. I rolled a 5. Thorgrim takes a damage. Thorgrim is also immobilized. Can you believe this? Is a 25% chance, a 1 in 4 chance for each of them. What are the odds of all 3 of them rolling 5 or less? I thought, you know what, there's no reason for me to blow this. It's too late now because I've allowed the encounter to play through. I could have canceled it, but I thought, you know, it's worth the risk because it's a 1 in 4 chance, and I can't imagine all 3 of them getting immobilized. Well, guess what? They are all immobilized. And that's where we're going to leave it, it looks like. She needs to activate the Wraith, though, still. So the Wraith is going to move 1 tile toward the closest hero. And she is the closest hero. So we move the Wraith to here. Now, under the trap is where that is. So we're going to put the Wraith here, because that's where he's actually standing. This does not look good. Nobody can move, and the Wraith is going to be within attack range next. We still have the surround them ability, but it's not going to pay off like it originally could have had we not all been immobilized. What a tragic end to round 5. Sounds like it's time to take a break. We'll pick this up again with round 6 and hope that we can make some progress here. This is really, really demoralizing for this to happen. So until next time, this is Wild One signing off.